Assalamu alaikum everyone and Ramzan Mubarak. I hope that everyone is having a peaceful and blessed month and that you're not under too much stress. I hear lots of people commenting about how tired they are because of the lack of sleep. All the additional prayers that they're performing, the number of Qurans they want to try and read during the month, and yet they still want to perform at 100% capacity in everything else that they have to do. And this is especially true of young mums that I encounter who are trying to juggle so much during the month. And instead of enjoying the month and reaping the rewards, they feel exhausted and they feel guilty. Part of the reason for this is that we don't fully understand the concept of worship. If we look at the Quran, it says clearly that, O people, worship your Lord, who has created you and those before you in order that you may be of the God conscious. Further in, he reminds us that we have sent among every people a messenger with the command, worship God. So yes, worship is important. It makes us aware of our Creator. But is worship in Ramzan simply about fasting, praying our 5 daily prayers on time, paying zakat, performing the Tarawih prayers at night, Tahajjud, Ishraq, Awabin? Is worship in Ramzan about cramming in reading of the Quran like you're getting ready for an exam? Or is it much more than that? Certainly for me, it is much more. Worship is everything we do that pleases our God, our Creator. Every act of charity, of kindness, every gentle word spoken, everything we see, we think, we say, we feel, and we do. Getting up in the morning and going to work to fulfill an obligation to our employers is an act of worship. They are, after all, paying us a salary to fulfill a certain role that ultimately puts food on our table, a roof over our head, and clothes on our backs. Not to do the job to the best of our ability because we stayed up half the night is dishonest, surely. And particularly mums with young children, please don't beat yourselves up. When you look after your child, you are fulfilling a promise to God. A promise you made when you brought them into the world to care for them. Feeding them, bathing them, dressing them, taking them to school, helping them with their homeworks, comforting them when they fall out with their best friend for the 10th time this week, driving them to football practice because, Mum, we have to go, and comforting them when they're unwell. These are all acts of worship, and just as important as you completing the reading of the Quran from start to finish during the month of Ramzan. It's not a competition. Don't worry if Mrs. Khan has finished 4 Qurans in 5 days. She probably wasn't up at 6 o'clock to wash the football kit that was left in the car overnight and is needed at 9 o'clock. One day you'll wake up and your children will have grown up. They'll have left home. They will have started their own families and you will be so happy for them. And at that point, you'll find you have all the time in the world to read Quran and pray during the night in Ramzan. But for now, let the form of your worship take its natural course and be content that you are worshipping your God, albeit in a different way. He is, after all, the all-knowing, the all-wise, the most kind, and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum.